Attendees are filing in. The keynote's about to begin. This is day 2 of the Morningstar Investment Conference. Okay, it is the morning of day 2 here at the Morningstar Investment Conference. Joining me is co-MC of the event, Rob Pinkerton, also Chief Marketing Officer. Now, Rob, you have to help our viewers get a sense of what is in store here at day 2 of the conference.
Well, so we started with some just good hardcore quantitative investing.
That's a good way to describe it.
It was. Cliff Asness, who's the managing and founding principal at AQR Capital, gave a rousing presentation. He's funny.
Quant and rousing in the same sentence.
It's not easy to find. I think we found it and he delivered. I mean, he was funny, right? And it's a tough topic. It's not intuitively accessible. He talked a lot about intuition, and it went over very well.
And right now you have attendees breaking out, going into breakout sessions. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing for breakouts here on day 2.
Okay, so we've got tracks. We've got 5 tracks that folks are going to. There's one for passive, one for active, one for outcome-oriented, sort of goals-based investing, one for solutions, and one for practice management. And they will go throughout the day, all kinds of different speakers. It's good, rich content.
You did really well. I was going to quiz you on the 5 breakouts, but you nailed it.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might quiz me.
Now, there's some other activity going on in the FinTech Showcase all day. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Morningstar is fascinated with the ways that new technology and innovation can help investors meet their goals, how we can illuminate investing. And so we try to really use this platform as a way for new and emerging voices and ideas to showcase what they can do. Right? And so the idea we had is this FinTech Showcase where you'll see a lot of these different firms talk about what they're doing. A couple of them are actually launching new offerings today here at the conference. You know, it's a bit of a bake-off, right? I mean, they will show what they're doing. Tomorrow we'll announce a couple winners. It should be super interesting.
Well, great. We are going to join some of the breakout sessions, share some of the highlights of what's going on in there. But you also this afternoon have some awards that you're going to give.
That's right.
Tell me more about that.
This is a big deal, something that's new. We haven't done this here before, and we're using our biggest event on our global stage to really recognize some of the real leading minds in investing. We've reconstructed the awards that we do every year. We've brought them here. They're going to be announced later today. Keep an eye out for it. The winners will be here, and I think something's pretty exciting that really shows our values. It shows really some of the leading figures in the industry, and something we're pretty excited about.
All right.
Check it out.
We're going to run out to the breakout sessions, see what's going on there. We'll be back for the lunch keynote, and then capture the awards later on today.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
This morning's breakout sessions have come to a close. We're now making our way to the general session, where this afternoon we're going to hear from Doris Kearns-Goodwin. We just came out of the wonderful session with Doris Kearns-Goodwin. I'm joined by Laura Lutton. Now, Laura, there were 7 things about the traits of leadership in turbulent times. What was one of those that Doris shared that really stood out for you?
Really empathy, that leaders really need that trait to be successful, and without it, that's really the critical piece. And we talked about that on our walk over here, so it was great.
Yeah, we did. So there were definitely some anecdotes and some stories, and Doris really shared the value of storytelling and how memorable that is.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about the story you feel Morningstar is telling here at the Morningstar Investment Conference that's really helping move investors forward.
Well, you know, we're really focused on helping investors, right? Doing what's in the investor's best interest. That's the core of our business, and that's what the conference is about, right? Whether it's choosing better investments, learning how to tell stories about portfolios better, or getting new tips on how to manage your practice.
I couldn't agree more. So she's signing books back there. Go grab your place
I'm going to get
in
in line. Yeah.
You absolutely are.
Thank
That's going to be
you.
so great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
With the luncheon keynote over, we're back in the exhibit hall where Morningstar has set up a VR experience where attendees are able to learn about how sustainable investing impacts the environment. Well, now joining me is Julie Koska to talk about the VR experience here in the exhibit hall. Julie, you just went through the experience with VR. What did you think?
It was incredible. I think what's amazing about the VR experience here at the Morningstar Investment Conference is that it really brings to life something that everyone faces every day in terms of climate change, but it's hard to actually understand what impacts you are making on the earth, and this is so visual that it really brings it to life in terms of your interactions and seeing how investments and the size of companies can influence the earth and what impact that has.
And we were looking over your shoulder. You got a pretty good score at the end.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
what's the secret to scoring so well?
I mean, it's really an interest in the environment and in society. It's about, not necessarily just a trade-off with returns and an environmental performance or sustainable performance, but really looking at how you can balance the two and still have success with both.
Well, good job on hitting it out of the park during your
thanks.
VR experience. You did such a good job.
Well, thank you.
We've got to leave the VR station behind and get back into the general session. In just a few minutes, there will be the Morningstar Awards for Investing Excellence. Joining me once again is Jeff Patak. Now, Jeff, can you tell us about this year's Morningstar Awards for Investing Excellence?
Yeah, sure can. So we gave out 3 awards. One was for exemplary stewardship. These are firms that we think have done a really good job of putting investors front and center where they belong. A second award that we gave was outstanding portfolio manager. This went to deserving portfolio managers who have a long track record of producing for their investors, something that's very important to us here at Morningstar as analysts. And then the third award was for rising talent. These are for lesser known portfolio managers who nonetheless are making what we think are very valuable contributions to the success of their investors and also are showing great promise for the future.
Great. So without further ado, who were this year's winners?
Sure. So the winner for exemplary stewardship was the Vanguard Group. The Vanguard Group, I think, is very well known to many investors at this point, but they're really known as the undisputed cost leader in the industry, and they've also put investors front and center in other ways, generally, being transparent, having a very clear set of values and philosophies that they implement in their strategies. The winner for Rising Talent was James Marchetti of Prime Cap Management Group. He's one of the managers of several Prime Cap funds, and he's done an excellent job of contributing to the success of those funds and in turn to the success of the investors in those funds. And then our third winner for Outstanding Portfolio Manager was Dan Fuss of Loomis Sales Bond. Dan has done just an outstanding job through a number of years of producing consistent returns on both a risk-adjusted and unadjusted basis for shareholders. Really done an excellent job of looking after their capital.
Wonderful, Jeff. Thank you for covering the winners of this year's Morningstar Awards for Investing Excellence. If you have to excuse us, we've got to head backstage to catch the last keynote speaker of today, Boyd Vardy. And to wrap things up, I'm backstage with Boyd Vardy. Boyd, what an inspiring presentation you just delivered. Now, how do you distill things for our audience of financial professionals looking to make some changes in their lives?
Oh, well, I think, we're all trackers, and in fact, people in the financial industry, they understand this because they track all the time in the markets. What I would say is you've got to get very quickly in touch with the feelings in the body, and then just start paying attention to what makes you feel expansive and what makes you feel shut down, and that's the way the landscape of the body talks. And if you track towards the feeling of expansion, you're going to find yourself in a different life pretty soon.
So there's a lot to learn about tracking and applying it personally so that we're not afraid to move forward with transitions, right?
Absolutely. Trackers find a way and trackers go where other people don't know how to go, and this can be applied, the art of tracking can be applied to all facets of life, big transitions, changes in career, changes in relationship, or just finding what you're looking for. That's the key, the core of tracking.
Thank you, Boyd. Such an inspiring message. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's day 2 of the Morningstar Investment Conference. We started with quant investing and finished with safari tracking. Just a normal day at the Morningstar Investment Conference. I hope to see you back for day 3 to finish out everything here in Chicago.